Welcome to day 267 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here today, and I am back home. I always love it when I get back home. I like to go places and travel, but I love when I get back to my own cozy spot, right? We all have our comfort zone, and I've set up and created my home so that it is very comfortable and very cozy for me. So today our topic, of course, is on the subject of contribution growth. We're on contribution of the 9-part life framework, as we're focusing on one area of those each month during the year. And this month we're focusing, of course, on contribution. If you've been joining us at all, you know that that is what we are concentrating on. When we concentrate on something, it's not like we ignore all the other areas and aspects of our life. We just consciously become aware of an area of our life that we are probably not being aware of as we go about our normal days and our normal activity. At least I know I am not. If I don't build certain things into my daily routines and my activities, it's not that I don't think that they're important. I just don't remember or take the time or prioritize them and get things that I want to get done in those areas accomplished. So structuring the challenge this way, from a selfish standpoint, allows me to get more done than I otherwise would in all the different areas and aspects of my life. So today our topic is code of conduct and personal model. Our personal code of conduct and our personal model. Why? Because that's the only one we can actually 100% have control over. We get to decide where that line in the sand is for acceptable and unacceptable behavior for us. We get to decide where those boundaries are, what those boundaries are for what we will tolerate from other people and other people's behavior, what's above the line and below the line. And we do that for our relationships. We do that in our personal life. We do that in our business relationships and our business life. We do that for everything. We do it on a subconscious level if we don't do it on a conscious level. And for most relationships, for most situations, that works just fine. But there are relationships and there are situations where we want to clearly define our code of conduct and our personal motto. Our personal motto to me is a succinct statement or tagline like a business would have or a brand would have that reminds us of who we are and what is most important to us. And I'll admit, until 2011 or 2012, I didn't have one for myself personally. In 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and checked out for a while. I was in a coma for, I think, I don't even know how long, but for under a week. But I was in a coma. And when I woke up from that situation and realized that I was still here, I went on a huge journey. And it was a journey of a couple of years, and it continues to today. It's why I do the annual challenges. It's why I share the annual challenges. I always did them, but I didn't share them. It's why I do a lot of what I do, because I am still on a journey for becoming the best possible version of myself. I used to look for my purpose and, oh, why am I here? Why don't I have some awesome talent like so many other people I know that just helps me know exactly what I'm supposed to do every single day? And I realized that my purpose, as well as everyone else's on the planet, is to just continually improve and be the best possible version and example of ourselves that we can be. By being ourselves, we give other people permission to do the same. So I came up with my own code of conduct and I came up with my own motto. And I'm not going to share my whole code of conduct because, of course, like everything I do, it's pretty long and in depth. But it involves my core values, right? It revolves around my core values, the things that are most important to me, prioritizing those. It talks about how I will or will not behave. And sometimes I slip, right? Sometimes I don't behave as my ultimate self. And none of us do, because we're human beings. I find myself, especially every 4 years, getting sucked into the political nonsense and things like that. And I know that so much of it is just lies and manipulation that it's frightening to me, which is where one of my personal beliefs and code of conduct sections comes from, and that is to think for myself. Think for yourself. So that's an example of one thing that's in my code of conduct. Another thing that's in my code of conduct is to check my beliefs and assumptions and make sure that they're in alignment with where I want to go next, right? Not all the time, but where I want to go next, because we really only can see what we can act on right now and what we can do now we don't, none of our futures are guaranteed. Our past is our past. Nothing we can do about that. Hopefully we've learned and continue to learn from the things that went well and the mistakes that we've made. Because guess what? Nobody's perfect and we've all made mistakes. My personal motto I came up with, I think probably around 2012, and it stayed the same because when it clicks for you, you know that it's the right motto for you. And mine is be loving, love being, be you. And that is core to who I am as a human being. And so you're going to, today as part of our action item, think about your code of conduct. What are behaviors that are acceptable in your mind for yourself? And what are behaviors that are unacceptable? And they can have to do with all the different areas and aspects of your life, but we're focusing on contribution right now. So think of your code of conduct with respect to the contribution area and aspect of your life. I do this to help other people. I do that to help other people. I will not participate in this type of activity, etc., because I know it's not making the world a better place, etc. But you have to define each of those things for yourself. Guess what? As life presents you with opportunities and shows you things, you will add to your code of conduct, or you will just use it as a filtering device to say, yeah, I'll say yes to that because that is for me, or nah, that doesn't feel right to me. I'm not going to do that because it doesn't really match who I am right now or who I want to show up in the world as. And then think about and share in the comments below, do you have a personal motto? A lot of people do. Most people don't. I think I can carefully and clearly say most people do not have either a code of conduct, a conscious code of conduct, or a personal motto. But I will tell you, once you have it, it makes so many things in your life fall into place. It's so much easier to make decisions. It's so much easier to choose how you will and will not spend your time. It's so much easier to prioritize and make decisions based on the priorities that are in alignment with who you really are. So that's our topic for today. We have got Kyle's story in Guide to the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group. It goes through how he creates his code of conduct and motto and lessons learned from that. You can check that out. Any questions about this, hit me up. I will tell you right now, if it's the first time you're thinking about this or hearing about it, you're probably not going to come up with it today. Just say in the comments below whether you have a code of conduct, yes or no, and whether you have a personal motto, yes or no. And if you want, share your personal motto with us because it helps us to know how we can help you in our relationships. Again, otherwise, don't think that you're going to create this overnight. I think mine literally took me several years to create. It was kind of like our primary question. How do you come up with your primary question? I don't know if we've talked about that this year. I'm going to have to look back in my notes. All right. That's all I've got. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.